Hello, everybody. This is Mrs. Tonika Russell. I am the college counselor at Arbor Prep. Usually, I hold a meeting for all 9th, 10th, and 11th grade parents in person, but unfortunately, due to COVID, that can't happen this year. So that's why I created this presentation, and I hope that you enjoy. Just a little bit about myself. So my name is Ms. Tonika Russell. I am a two-time grad of the University of Michigan Flint. So I graduated with my bachelor's in history and my master's in public administration in 2013. I recently graduated in 2019 with my school counseling degree and my mental health counseling degree. It was a dual program. Currently, I do some mental health work in the Flint area where I live and with students ages 4 to 18, and also with women and families who suffer from infertility. I have one daughter. Her name is Demi Rose. So if your student comes home and tells you that all I talk about is Demi Rose, that is very true. I absolutely love my little baby. So if you come in my office, you'll see pictures of her everywhere, and I talk about her all the time. And those are pictures of her and also my husband, who also lives in Flint. I absolutely love Beyonce, and I think this is important because I do a lot of uh, using Beyonce in conversations that I have with students. So they'll definitely be talking about that. And I've worked in college access for the last 9 years. I've been at Arbor Prep for the last 6. I absolutely love my job. I love working here. I love what I do. And I think that that rubs off on the students that makes them excited about college because I'm very excited about their future. So just a little bit about our senior class of 2020. Unfortunately, this class has some setbacks because of COVID that was around, but we always say it came out of nowhere because we were at school on a Tuesday, and then that was it. We never came back for the year. They were unable to have prom. We had to have a drive up graduation, which they really enjoyed, so that made me happy. They were unable to have an in person honors night. We had a virtual one for them, but they did miss out on a lot. So I was a little worried about what life would look like for them for college, but many of them still attended the school that of their choice and that they had really wanted to attend. I had a couple that decided that because they were online courses, they would just go ahead and go to community college. But most of them went ahead, attended, and some are even staying on the campus of the school that they applied to. Last year, our top 5 schools that students attended, Washtenaw is always in the lead. We receive 5 full ride scholarships from Washtenaw for our students. So we usually have 5 students who definitely take advantage of those. Michigan State University is always a really big one here at our school for our students. Eastern Michigan University is another one. University of Michigan Arbor, we had a nice amount of students attend there. And Wayne County Community College, the Ted Scott campus. And this is a new one because we now have a partnership with Wayne County for our early college program, which I will talk about. So we had our 5th-year students who just decided to continue on into the early college program. And then we had a couple more students who decided that they want to attend Wayne County because they live in the Wayne County area and it's easier for them than Washtenaw. When we look at our graduation requirements, it's important to remember that you need 22 credits total. Now, if a student passes all their classes, 22 credits is not even a number they need to be concerned about because they'll reach that without any problems. For math, students have to make sure they take a math class every year. Now, that's something that myself and Mrs. Snowberger will always pay attention to, but students need to keep that in mind, that even if they take Algebra 2 and Survey of College Math in the same year, and they get to their senior year, they still need to take a math course. English is 4 credits. So it doesn't have to be an English class every year. You just have to take 4 years of English. So we may have a student who does dual enrollment their junior year and satisfy their English requirement. But we do try to push students to continue to take those every year just because math and English is so important in the college application process. For social studies, students have to take world history or AP World. They have to take Econ and Government or AP Gov, and they have to take U.S. History or AP U.S. History. So they can choose if they want to do their AP classes there, if they just want to take the regular courses. For science, students have to take biology, chemistry, and then a third year. So a student can't choose to take AP Bio instead of biology because they have to take regular biology before they can take AP Bio. It's a little bit different than social studies, and the same with chemistry. That third year can be any science course of their choice. We have some students this year that are taking ecology through Wayne County, but it'll be here on our campus, so that can be their third year choice. For art, students have to take 2 credits, so they'll take 2 full years of art elective. For world language, they have to take 2 years of the same language. So if you take Spanish 1 your first year and you take Spanish 2 your second year, then your world language requirement is complete. But if you take Spanish the first year and then French the second year, you still have to complete on with one of those world language options to complete that world language. They have to take PE and health. That's a full year. So PE is 1 semester and health is the second semester. And then 3 electives. And the electives will be any course they pick that do not fit into those requirements. We require 15 service hours per year that a student is enrolled at Arbor Prep. So if they come their junior year, they would only have 30 required to graduate. But if a student completes over 120 service hours, and they get special cores at graduation. So I always tell students who may not have the best GPA and may not qualify to get the honors course, this is the easy one. You can get 120 service hours easily. Sometimes I have had students who have volunteered here at the school and got all of their hours here with us. So I encourage students to get those service cores for graduation. In a student senior advisory, they'll complete a senior project where they talk about who they are, where they're going, and how they plan to get there. It's a wonderful project, and it really allows them to analyze themselves and their plans for the rest of their lives. So they'll work with their advisory teacher to complete that starting their junior year. They have to be accepted into a 4-year university. They do not have to attend. So like I said, Washtenaw and Wayne County were in our top 5 schools. So students just apply because we want them to get that application experience because applications to a 4-year are a little bit different than those of applying to community college. But once they're admitted, they don't have to attend at all. And then they must successfully complete 2 AP courses. If a student is in the early college program, they don't have to worry about completing 2 AP courses because the early college courses count on the same level as an AP course. But for students who are not in our early college program, they need to complete 2 AP courses. I always encourage students, get those out the way. I want you to do more than the 2. I want you to do 5, 6, however many you feel comfortable with. But let's start early working on those AP classes so that we don't get to senior year and then you have 2 AP classes and then you have a hard English class and then you have to take care of your pre-calc requirement for math and you're struggling your senior year. Speaking of our early college, students can enter into the early college their 10th and their 11th grade year. That's something new this year. But we encourage students to enter in their 10th grade year so that they can get the complete experience of the program. They have the potential to earn an associate's degree by the end of their 5th year commitment. 10th and 11th grade students have their classes here at Arbor Prep, so they do not have to travel back and forth to Wayne County. 12th grade students are here during the first 3 blocks of the day, and then they go off campus for their classes 2 days a week. And then our 13th year, they're completely on campus. So the 13th year tends to scare students because they're like, I don't want to spend another year in high school. And I completely understand that. But the thing about the 13th year is that you're not here. You're not here at all. We don't, besides myself, I apologize, no one actually even sees you because you're a college student. You're at Wayne County. You're taking classes at Wayne County. 13th year students do have to communicate regularly with me so I can make sure that they're able to be successful in their class and see if they need any assistance. So right now, I've been helping our 13th year students with finding their textbooks. I've been helping them with where they should go on campus if they need to use computers. I've been helping them with how to format an email to their professors because they're out of town. Just different things like that. I've been a support to them, and I think that is extremely beneficial. There's absolutely no cost to the families outside of you having to provide your books. And the application process starts January of 2021. If a student decides not to do the early college program and has to complete those two AP requirement classes, AP stands for Advanced Placement. An example would be AP Statistics, AP Chemistry. Advanced Gym is not an AP class, and I hear that a lot. Like, I want to take Advanced Gym. That's awesome, but that doesn't count as AP. The AP exam is scored from a 1 to 5. Most colleges are going to require a 3 or above in order to receive college credit. The more strenuous the college, so colleges that have strenuous admission processes, they're going to require a 4 or 5. And even some colleges that are more lenient, such as like Eastern, they may require a 4 or 5 for their science and math courses in order to receive credit. If we look at the University of Michigan Dearborn, we'll see that they have a list of their AP classes and how the scores will become equivalents at the University of Michigan Dearborn. So if we look at chemistry, AP Chem, if a student receives a 3, they receive no credit. But if they manage to go up to a 4 and 5, then they receive credit for one course. So it's important for students to do their best. Computer science, economics, biology are all listed on here. And if you wanted to see the complete list, you'll see the web address here. I also listed Eastern Michigan's. So a 3 on the biology exam will get you Bio 110 and Bio 111. But if you go down to a 4, then you're going to get Bio 10, Bio 111, Bio 120, and Bio 121. So it's a big difference when you jump from that 3 to that 4 to that 5 for schools. In Eastern Michigan's, theirs is available on their website also if you wanted to see more of the list. I just wanted to give a snapshot so you can kind of see what you would be working with what scores. If a student does not take the AP exam, so we have students that say, I'm taking a class, but I'm not taking the exam because I'm not going to do good. And they don't receive a weighted GPA for that class. And that is important. I have students that graduate from Arbor Prep with a 4.6 GPA because they have taken the exam for their AP class with every class they've taken. Have they always done the best? No. But they've taken those exams, they've gotten the weighted GPA, and that can help push them to some of those top schools that they're really interested in. So students can start applying to school at the end of their junior year. In order to apply to college, you need 3 complete years of high school, and you used to need an SAT or ACT, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's important for students to start thinking about college now. Not so much, I know that I want to go to Western, or I know that I want to go to Florida A&M. But thinking about, do they want to live in Michigan? Do they want to go to a big school? Do they want to go to a smaller school? Do they even want to go to college? Do they want to go to trade school? Do they want to just go to community college? What are some things that interest them? Just kind of putting it on their mind. Now, normally I would have had a lot of meetings with the freshmen this summer, but unfortunately we couldn't have that because of the coronavirus. So I wasn't able to bring them in and really have these conversations, but I will be finding a way to get into their advisory, to kind of do some of the workshops that I have to kind of get their minds going. But in their advisory courses, we've built in assignments to get them thinking about college a little bit more. Grades and SAT are the biggest factors when applying to college. So if a student tells me, I really want to go to Howard University and I have 200 volunteer hours. That's awesome. And that's something great that we're going to mention in the application. But if you don't have the GPA and SAT score to get in the door, then we are up against the battle here. So I really try to push that home to students. You could go in and do an interview, but if you don't have the grades and the SAT score, they're not even going to call you for it. So that's very important to remember. Students should take advantage of AP classes. They should also take advantage of dual enrollment courses that we offer. So when a student gets to junior year, they can begin taking dual enrollment at Wayne County, at Washtenaw, or they can do the early college program. That's guaranteed college credit as long as they pass the course, versus having to pass the exam with an AP class. So switching gears and moving over to the PSAT and SAT. PSAT for our ninth graders will be October 22nd here at Arbor Prep. If there's anything that they need to complete beforehand, they should look, and you should also look for an email from Ms. Snowberger. PSAT and NMSQT for our 11th graders is October 29th. Usually we would charge for this test and students will have to pay in order to take it, but this year College Board is sponsoring all the tests. So we are encouraging all of our 11th graders to take it because there is a scholarship component with this PSAT, and that is October 29th here at Arbor Prep. For our 10th graders, the PSAT will be in January, and you should look for an email from Ms. Snowberger about how to complete this PSAT and what you need in order to take the test. I encourage all students to use their PSAT through College Board in conjunction with Khan Academy. So students can log into Khan Academy, merge their scores, and then Khan Academy will produce activities for them to complete in order to work on their PSAT score. The only way that students get a high SAT score is by practicing. I don't know any student who has taken the SAT once without practicing, without reviewing skills and what they have learned, and has scored their highest score. I have been here 6 years and I've never seen that. So I encourage all of my students to continue to use Khan Academy. I usually do Khan Academy challenges. Mr. C offers a SAT workshop for our students 11th and 12th grade. So please take advantage of all of those things that are available to you. Currently, schools for this year are test optional, which means that a student can decide if they want to send in their SAT score or not. This is because of the challenges that have arisen for students to take the SAT. It is not guaranteed that this is going to continue for students, and I still am encouraging all my students to take the SAT because we can hold on to it and then it can be used at a later time if we need that bump, or it can be used for class placement. So all of our seniors are still heavily encouraged to take the SAT, and I will do the same if test optional remains something for all colleges. Is encourage all of my students to continue to take the SAT. For every senior, they will complete the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, and it opens October 1st of their senior year, and is usually due by March of their senior year. But again, with COVID, this year might be a little bit different for my seniors. They may extend it just because of some of the difficulties families had with completing their taxes. They'll complete it online, and this is how students will receive loans, receive grants from the state and from their institution. So I encourage all students to make sure they complete the FAFSA. I stay on them their entire senior year, and I began talking about this early. What you can do right now, if you're interested to have an estimate of what you may receive through the FAFSA, is through the FAFSA Forecaster. So you can go to www.fafsaforecaster.ed.gov. You'll still need your taxes and some more information, but it'll kind of give you an idea of what you could look at, and then you can better estimate about what school you would like to go to and how much money you're willing to assist your student with applying and attending the college of their choice. Raise Me is also a great website for micro scholarships. So I have students usually start their freshman year with Raise Me, but some of my juniors just signed up last year. And what you do is you go in and you say, okay, I've applied to colleges, I've played these sports, and you receive some scholarship money. You're able to use it at schools such as Wayne State and Madonna, but you're not able to stack it. So let's say you receive $10,000 through Raise Me for Wayne State, and then you receive a $10,000 scholarship from Wayne State to go there. You don't have 20,000; you just have 10. You would have to pick, and you will continue to have to pick no matter what school you go to. So it's a great website, and I encourage families to sign up. So just looking at what you need for college admissions and what you should be looking at. So colleges are looking at the GPA and the SAT score. I know that I just got done talking about test optional, but still you want to have that SAT score just in case that's not available the year that you apply to college. The rigor of your schedule. So if you're in that early college, if you're doing dual enrollment, if you're doing more than the 2 AP classes, they're looking at that. If you start off your freshman year and it's absolutely horrible and you do a trend upwards, then they're looking at that also. And that's something that we can explain in the college application essay. Being involved in extracurricular. So this is something that I find a lot of my high achieving students, they have awesome GPA, but they don't have a lot of extracurriculars and volunteering to bump up their application for those competitive schools. So we want to make sure that that's something that we keep in mind. Leadership roles are important, and even if you have a job, making sure that you list that and did you stay at that job, and that you're able to list some of those skills that they're looking for with your extracurriculars is also part of your employment. Not every school requires an essay. They're actually becoming obsolete for a lot of schools, so that's not really important if you're applying to some schools such as like Saginaw Valley and Eastern. But if you're applying to those competitive schools such as Ivy Leagues, a lot of the historically black colleges and universities, University of Michigan, University of Detroit Mercy, Kalamazoo College, they do still require essays. So you want to make sure that your student completes their essay and that they have multiple people look over it. I always tell students, I'm very good at looking over an essay and telling you about your content, but I'm not very good at looking over an essay and telling you about grammatical errors. That's not my strong suit, and I know where I'm strong at. So I encourage them to always have an English teacher or someone else they can have look at for grammatical errors, and making sure that everything flows correctly. But I'm always excited to look at an essay and make sure that the content is there and that it can stand out as much as possible. Letters of recommendation. So a lot of schools require a letter of recommendation. If a student does the Common App, which they'll learn more about as they become a junior and senior, then I'm required to do a letter of recommendation. So I work with students to make sure that they're asking teachers for those correctly. They're completing a brag sheet with me, and we can get those in. Interviews, not so much happen for admission, but more for a student who may apply for the honors program. Maybe a student applies for a specific school, like the School of Art, at an art school, or they apply for the School of Business at a school. Then they may have an interview, but those don't happen as much. Any challenges a student has overcome. So I just for a second want to talk about this because we have some students that have never had a challenge. They haven't had a death. They haven't been in a car accident. They don't have a low socioeconomic status, and they feel like if I don't have this, should I still apply? And the answer is yes. If you have these, the school wants to know. But if you do not, then you're not penalized. And then interest in the school. So this is very important for a school like the University of Michigan. One of their essays ask a question about how you can see yourself on campus. And when I went to the University of Michigan, was talking with an admissions counselor, they mentioned to me that they should not be able to read a student's essay, take out the University of Michigan's name, and put in any other college's name. So they want everything that you send them very specific to them to let them know that you are extremely interested in their school. Some goals that the student should have to complete would be to visit a college campus. That's pretty hard right now because of COVID, but there are virtual visits that are available, and there are some schools that are beginning to open up their visits back up, and are doing them in a socially distanced way. So if you feel comfortable, then visiting a college campus is always great. I usually take the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders on a college visit, but unfortunately, they're definitely not offering large group visits, so you will have a better chance on individual ones. You definitely want to have a conversation about college costs. Something that happens every year is a student I will work with from the beginning of the year that really wants to go out of state. They always have wanted to go to the University of Toledo. That's where they want to go. They're going to owe $7,000. They're excited. We talk to the parents, and the parents say, we can't afford $7,000 a semester. We don't have $14,000. You need to look closer to home, and the student is devastated. And I just really want to stop that early on by parents and families sitting down and having a conversation together, and making a plan about college, how much the student is expected to pay. Do they need to come up with scholarships if they go to certain schools? Do you have money saved up for them? Even telling a student we'll figure it out kind of leaves them in a tough spot, because how much can you figure out? Can you figure out 20,000? Can you figure out 5,000? So being very concrete with your conversation with your student about what your expectations are for them for paying for college. Definitely checking on your students' schoolwork. I understand that students get to high school and the parents say they're in high school. I've worked with them so far, they have to figure it out, but they still need guidance, and they still need you checking in Infinite Campus on them and making sure they're being successful. Ensuring that students get involved and feel engaged in school is extremely important. Review their PSAT scores together, log into Khan Academy, make sure they're doing some kind of assignments and activities to improve that score for SAT. The summer is a great time to work on new skills. It's a great time to find employment. It's a great time to work on volunteer hours. So ensuring that they're getting those done. So this is my contact information. I can be reached by text or phone call. Text gets to me quicker, and I usually can respond quicker, but please feel free to contact me either way. My email that I can be reached at, and I have set up a Google site for Arbor Prep for our college counseling for you to look and peruse at your own leisure. You can go on there to find information, the early college application, look at what to expect for 11th, 12th, 13th year as your student continues on through Arbor Prep. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see you right now, but I hope that later on throughout the year, we're able to meet in person and really begin to develop a relationship. Have a great day, and thank you for tuning in.